Good morning, everyone. Chapter 9, Part 3, Raising Children. I thought I'd start out here, this beautiful morning. Look at all that, you guys. Isn't this just gorgeous here? Who's nibbling at my leg? Huh? Who is that? Oh, hi, Tinkle. You locked your sissy in. Come on, honey. Huh? Oh, there's Toot. Toot is much darker than Tinkle. She has way more hair, too. Borsta. Oh, did you make it off of there? You guys are getting so fat. Huh? Yeah. What you doing? Don't eat my foot, buddy. I'll get going. Yeah. Chickens are all here, too. Oh, I had to take Midnight, our chicken that's hurt, our hen, that was raised on the porch, back in the house, back to the porch. Yep, I got in here yesterday. Good morning, guys. Hey. How you doing? Oh. I got out here yesterday looking for her, and I couldn't find her in the barn. Oh, I have to do it like this, don't I? I'm forgetting. Let's situate back here. I'm coming. And I thought, oh gosh, where is she? I looked everywhere down here. I couldn't find her. Huh? Could not find her. Anyway. So I got everything ready out here. The crew hadn't come back yet. And then when I came back over to put everybody in, and the chickens had already been fed, and I saw by the little bridge that we have out here to get the manure out to the pile, there she was. Probably was hiding. She can fly, though she can't walk very well. She can fly pretty good. So I went with daughter and I said, you know what? You're coming back to the house. That is that. I'll pick up that little bit of chicken poop that she drops. Right? Why did I do that? Well, number one, she can't get away like the other chickens if anything happens here. This is definitely coyotes coming out of the hills. Time, other things that are just looking for one more meal before winter time. Or hibernating, just, all that kind of stuff. I can't get enough out of there. And so, even if the other chickens aren't going to be rough with her, which they will, they can get at her, she could easily become a meal. I'm coming for someone out there, just because. And then I'd have to, how do I explain that to my children here, my little ones that come and just love that chicken. One of my little nieces came and first thing, long drive from where they had come, 8 hours or something, spent the weekend here, and first thing, she comes up the steps, she's 8. Where's Midnight? She happened to be one of them that named her. So I thought, dear me, I'm going to explain to them. And then they're always very understanding. And yet this is one situation where to say, I can't. I know she's safe over there. And she likes to be around people. And the dogs. Probably thinks she's a dog. Right, Maddie? Yeah. You got your toenails cut, didn't you? So she's back over there. And she ain't going nowhere. Oh, and then just to make the point, I took her the little box with the straw in the house and stuck it there by the dog food. And she was, I put her in there because it was already evening time. Thought she'll stay in there and let's poop on her. No, she came back out, cruised around, ate a little of dog food, this, that. And then later on I looked to see where she was at, and she'd gone back into the box, like to say, look, I'm being good. I know, right? Maddie got her toenails cut. She's been coming down the steps real gingerly, and then every so often she would let a yelp. So she's lost a little bit of weight, haven't you? That's because I give you goodies, and then you don't want to eat the other stuff. You can hold out, which has done you some good, hasn't it? Yeah. So I thought her back, because she's older too, is starting to kind of, with the weight, and then her back, legs. So I cut her toenails yesterday, which I do always myself, and there was one, well, that's the first time I saw that, had curled under and was real sharp too, and been poking her palm. Right? Yeah, and that was it. Now we good? Yes, huh? Oh, yeah, you're so happy. Oh, you cut the toenails of your dog? Yeah, all of them. Always done that. If you have a dog that you have to bring to the vet, all right, unless you're just squeamish about doing it, okay? But if you have to bring a dog to the vet to get that done, because that dog won't let you do it, and you have to worry about them biting you, there's something wrong with the relationship between you and the dog. Okay? Yeah. Okay, this is about raising children. I think, personally, that's my personal opinion, that to first take care of an animal responsibly with the needs of the animal. Okay, you got to remember an animal is not a child, all right? And you read up on it and how to properly treat that animal. And it's probably better to find some places where, they're not suggesting to put tutus on them, and which is fine too. I mean, gosh almighty. But, cook your meals for your dog every day, this and that. Okay, well, that's good practice, but anyway, go someplace where you get some good down-home care for the animal that you have. And make sure that you have an animal that most likely you will outlive, okay? Not them outliving you. Most animals that outlive a human life, is most likely not a good house pet, should not be kept as a house pet. I'm just saying. Anyway, so I think it's a good idea to either have, depending on how much time you have, how much space you have, you get an animal that fits that. Right? So to get in a little city apartment a huge dog, then you work from morning till night, 5 or 6 days a week, and you got one day to take care of that dog. That's not, no. Then you're just getting a huge big dog for what? The one day you're going to the park with him so you can show him off or something? Oh. Yeah, you got to think, huh? So, having children then. It's the same thing. Why are you having children? Right? Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So see, if you can, develop a proper relationship with an animal first. Why not get a pet chicken? Right? Get a chicken, have that in the house. Chickens ain't going to really care all that much about them. But they don't live that long. Okay, well, okay. About 5-6 years, that's an old chicken. Anyway, for example, a cat's easy to take care of, but the problem with a cat is they want to go outside. If anybody tells us, oh yeah, our cat doesn't like to go outside, I'm going, what's wrong with your cat? And again, too, now you got a cat wants to go out, and you live kind of in, well, there's cars, this, that. Well, you see, when it comes to an animal like that, you give it the environment that it desires. Okay, desires, that it needs to be happy. Well, if then it happens that the cat gets run over, then, well, okay, but look at the cat's life. Until that happened, did that cat have a good life? Did you give that cat the best that there was for that cat and you? And a relationship between cats can be very offstandish, but they're actually quite affectionate too. So when you have a cat, you have to let the cat decide. Yeah, it kind of comes down to that. Then with a dog can absolutely be your best friend. Yes, but if you can't do to your dog per se, like cutting their toenails, what you need to do to at home yourself, they won't let you do that. No, you don't have. There's something not right with your relationship with your dog. Okay? That's something to know. Oh, so what does that have to do with children? Well, think about it. When you have a good relationship with your child, then your child most likely will not hide his or her feelings from you. Your child will let you know when they're not happy. Your child will let you know when they're happy. And of course, that also is taught to them, expressed to them first by you. It's unbelievable to me on how many parents lie to their children about one thing or another. Well, they don't need to know this. Well, they don't need to know that. That's a bad idea, right? That's right. That is a bad idea. The best thing is to gain your child's trust. And that's another thing you teach them, right? How do you gain your child's trust? By the child knowing it has yours. The one thing you don't do with children is lie to them. And they don't always need to know 100% what the story is about going on in your life, or certain other things that, where you're going, what you're doing, but you give the child an explanation that is towards the truth, not a lie. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's that is a mistake that I see parents make all the time. Oh, look at this. I might stink here a little bit, talking about raising children. All right. You are already done, aren't you? There goes that one too. Come on, baby. If you talk to a good farmer, that farmer knows his animal. If you talk to a good mother and father about children, They know their children. What's a good father and mother? All right, do I have to say it? Hey, yeah, wait a moment. I didn't bring my knife over. Bo, I'm going to feed you inside. I'm not going to let you out. I got to take care of that foot of yours first. Nope, not letting you out like that. Right. There. Eat that first. Let me see. Oh, just got lots of clover in it. Well, how about let them chickens first get all that up, huh? So, there's one thing with chickens, right? I know some people too keep them like, well, you got a poached chicken, all right. That's a rare, never happened here in 18 years, okay? So, roosters, they're chickens, okay? But roosters can get quite hateful if they want to, for one reason or another. And again, where is the, no, I'm sorry, I don't care how little your brain is, how much instinct you're running on, I'm the master, okay, of you. And I feed you, and I keep something where you can go in, keep you warm. Have your hands, legs, this, that. Don't you attack me. Well, anyway, so we had some roosters here to begin with, and game chickens are a little worse than others, or game roosters. And I thought, man, now I didn't have a problem with them, but I could hardly send my children out to get the eggs without them being flogged. So I thought, man, what am I going to do? Didn't know. I hadn't had chickens like that before. So I talked to a couple of farmers here. And it's very easy. Make sure, because they got them spurs, put some gloves on. You go and you trap them somewhere, like the chicken coop. And then if they come at you, you just bend down and you grab them by the feet, right? And you hold them upside down. Don't need to hit them. Hold them upside down until they calm down. All the blood rushes to their head, right? Okay. And then you just let them go again. So you might have to do that a couple of times, but guarantee you that rooster will never get close to you again, or anybody else that walks on 2 feet. Oh, it worked. It did work. Now, I don't have one rooster here. And there's about 10 of them out there, because the baby's grown up, or growing up, and there's some that offered to attack me. Not one. Wow. Because somehow, through the lineages, right, it's been transmitted. Who is the master here? Who takes care of us? In a way, right? Yes. Interesting? With a dog, when we have dogs here that come, and I said, well, we're not sure if they'll go after the chickens. I said, okay, go out there with them. And if they do go after them, you go after the dog. Turn them over on their back. Show them showing your belt. You grab by the neck. Don't have to squeeze hard. Just clamp a little bit. Just like mom would do to the puppies when they're doing something. That's exactly what they do. They clamp down a little on their neck to let them know. Don't know. Done. It works every time. Sometimes, again, it has to be done twice. Problem solved. Yes, yeah. Few little things you do right from the beginning or know about it. All right, so what I say? That's pretty cool. Guys, when I watch this, the young ones are like that. Oh, it done? Okay. I thought before, man, the picture is blurry. I'm going, no, I don't have my glasses on. All right, you ready? So, when you start out having animals, right, either on a farm, you're going to stay in there. Madison, come on. Or having children, talk to someone first about certain things that are happening. If you have children and or animals and you're seeing certain problems happening that is creating either mischief or disunity, stress, if the calm's not there, right, with either animals or children, things start to go wrong. Things become hard. And one wonders what to do. Well, then look around and see, wow, that's a really cool way that dog is. Wonderful dog, this and that. Talk to the owner or cat or a farmer. So what do I do? You know? If children look around you, wow, these kids are really great. They were raised really great. Then ask the parents. Don't be shy to ask for help. That's my number one. And read up on it yourself. I remember when it came time to vaccinate my children, I went and started reading up. You know why? Because when I had brought my child to the youngest one, wasn't ready for any vaccinations yet, I was handed this pamphlet. And then I went and I read it and I'm going, oh my gosh, she could die if I give her that vaccine? Oh, wait a minute, she could die if I don't give her that vaccine? I mean, I was 22 years old, 23, and I was confused. I'm going, haven't they figured that all out there yet? Yet, as a parent, I'm being, get the pamphlet, and you were told, well, there could be complications if you do, but there could be complications if you don't. And you're going, wait a minute. I thought there was at least one area I didn't have to worry about. And here I'm confronted with, well, that's my child. Well, I'm going to take no risks that I didn't study up on or, well, they know best and I'll just have to just give me that just in case. But it doesn't really happen 90% or, 95%. But the 5% that do show a reaction, this and that, well, okay then, you know what I mean? You go, well, what if my child is one of those 5% or 10%? Oh, am I taking that chance? Will I? All right, well, then you kind of do the math. Well, childhood diseases, they don't really exist anymore. So, they're pretty much eradicated, Oh, but then there is a flare-up every once in a while somewhere. I'm going, okay, well, then what to do? Right. So I went, and I don't have no gloves here either. Where did I go with all my stuff? Where did it all go? All right, well, let me see if I can take care of this boy here real quick. That foot can't stay that way. All right, buddy. Let me see. Can you pull that up for? Oh, that's a good boy. Okay. Nope, this knife. I know, I have the proper stuff to do it with, but it takes so much strength in your wrist. I've got a bigger knife over at the house that's pretty sharp, and I need a flashlight. It's too dark over there. So I'll have my sissy-in-law come and help me with that, and after that he can go out. While he's still munching, no, I'm going to fix his stall up. Oh, he's looking at me like, I want to stay in. I think I might have to. So, again, whoops. This is the wrong way around, that's why. So I read up on someone, and I wish I could remember his name, had been a pediatrician for 50 years or something, and written books, a couple of books, where he had the pros and cons of vaccinations. There were other things in there too about children and their health and all that. And he wasn't telling you to not vaccinate your children, and he wasn't telling you to vaccinate them. He gave you exactly what's going on when you vaccinate your children and how you should vaccinate them, and if you do not vaccinate them, on how to be conscientious when you take your children who are not vaccinated, okay, around infants who can't be vaccinated yet, okay? And these childbirth diseases, now, they can kill a baby. Still, can kill an infant. So so the one thing that he said, make sure that you have a pediatrician that listens to your concerns and doesn't put you down, where you feel comfortable with them. Because then as a parent, you will be honest with your pediatrician, and your pediatrician can be honest with you when it comes to your child. I'll tell you an interesting talk that I had with mine when I found the one. I'm going, yep. And to vaccinate your children, 1 or 2 shots at a time. Now the one for polio and then 2 other ones, that's all in 1 shot, right? Yeah, okay. Diphtheria, and there's whooping cough goes with it, I think. That's all in 1 shot or something. And then there are other ones, so they give them oral ones, and they shove them in. And sometimes children get 6 shots, right? Or 6 different vaccinations at the same time. Oh, you okay? Oh. Get up your nose. And that's a no-no. That is a big no-no. Oh, well, how would you know as a parent if, okay, let's do this, okay, they're good now. And you don't know. Your child gets really sick, this, now. So I went in and said, okay, so can we do it my way? And, I made a schedule. I made a schedule. And I kept that schedule for all of my children. And the pediatrician, he actually enjoyed for me to be informed, right? Rather than hearing, well, do I have to come again? Can't we just do this all in one? Pediatrician goes, well, no, that wouldn't be safe for your child. Well, I don't really care. Do you know pediatricians hear that from parents? Where the best action taken for for vaccines being taken, I still have problems with certain words in English. To immunize them, there you go. You have to find the rhythm of the word. Then they're not happy with it. They want another way. Okay, I'll tell you a funny one. I went and so that's what I did. my children to be vaccinated. And one of the reasons was, now that so many have been vaccinated, and still certain childhood diseases, besides chickenpox. My children all had the chickenpox. I feel, and I don't know if it's documented anywhere, that was my gut feeling as a parent, okay? When I looked, okay, how long has this all been going on with the vaccinations, this, that? How much stronger could be a strain out there? Or through the vaccinations, have they changed? Right? Has the strain of a childhood disease changed and become stronger, more detrimental? When it came to the side effects of when you have a childhood disease. Many people survived them, but many didn't. So that's my reason why then. I said, I'm going with vaccinating my children, but I'm going to do it according to what I read from really skilled people, been for a long time in the pediatric field, and giving good advice for me then to decide as the parent for my child. Great, that's what I did. And I think every parent should do that. If your child just gets sick and you just take it to the doctor and then you want them to just fix it up, this and that, then how much do you actually care for your child? I mean, shouldn't you be informed over what could befall your child? Just the most common things like a cold, or the flu, or strep, or just a sore throat. You rarely, when I grew up, I never heard of strep. It was a sore throat, okay, that went with a cold often, or the flu. Or a sinus infection, maybe. But it was a sore throat, not strep. Now everything's strep. And you can also give someone else a sore throat. Okay, so, for example, read up on that. Because then maybe a little tea and honey might take care of the problem and you don't have to give your child another dose of what? Right. So, I went with one of mine, and I did that with, because it was a pretty severe cold, felt, and I wanted to just make sure there wasn't something else going on. I knew my children, and when there was a discrepancy and okay, well that cold should be running this way or that way, then I used my pediatrician as well to just confirm, right? Or to go and say, okay, is it really that bad? Or and he says, yes, I'll just give you an antibiotic. And I'm going, you just said it's just a cold, which means it's a virus, right? He says, yeah. I said, why are you giving me an antibiotic then? That's for a bacterial infection, not a viral infection. He says, oh, you know that? I said, yeah, I know that. And he said, well, I said, so why did you do that? Needlessly giving me an antibiotic for my child. You know what he said? He said, I've tried so many times to explain to parents that when their children come in with a cold, that they don't need an antibiotic. And they insist on having an antibiotic anyway. Do you know why? Can you think of why? So that within 24 hours, the child could go back to school. Yeah. That's a weird one? Yeah. So I told my pediatrician, well, I don't work that way. So please, I said, I just lost a bit of my trust in you because you were going to give me something for my child did not need. And on top of that, it's not good for my child unless it's really needed, and it could break down her immune system. If continued on like that, we had a nice talk. And he was very, we had a great relationship as a parent, a doctor-parent relationship for my children for nearly 16 years. Yeah. And my children liked him too. My children were not difficult to go to the doctor either, or the dentist. Yeah, why would that be? Well, I'm not sure why children have this fear. I remember when I was a child, going to the dentist, it was like, oh, that's not going to happen. And they tried. I saw that. Not that time. They didn't have them tiny little syringes with a little needle. You know, they were huge things. I looked at that going, that ain't going in my mouth. No way. I mean, I sat there and they had to get some pliers to pry my mouth open. Went back home, it was one of my front teeth. Just one of the baby teeth, they wouldn't come out. And it took less than a week, a few days, and I was playing the flute. And my friend accidentally hit the bottom of the flute, poop, and it popped right out. Anyway, so, long-winded. Well, as I said, why did I not? Well, when I got older, of course, there was no problem. I just went to the dentist. Now I often have to ask them, please don't put as much stuff in it, because I probably will fall asleep here and I won't be able to get up for hours. So now even, I have to make sure that if I go, which I haven't gone in for years, I don't even get as much medication as others do or tolerate it. But I think with my children, I was never told anything about the dentist stuff, and something like, okay, go to the dentist. Didn't know what, how, and so what do? Well, I talked to my children about their teeth, and said, well, there is a doctor for your teeth and there's a doctor for your body. And here's one thing where you take good care of your teeth. And they all did. They all have good teeth as far as I know. And so we would go for regular checkups where it wasn't, where there was no needle involved or anything. The first time they all went, they were maybe 3 or 4 years old, just to see if everything was right. I started that at that time, just for a checkup. Look in their mouth, tap a little bit on their teeth. How does that feel? This, that. I found a great dentist who was willing to work with me. Okay? No x-rays were taken, this, that. Just a checkup. And they got used to that, right? Then the first cleaning. Oh, okay. And I said, I just talked to the dentist while they were still having their baby teeth. I just want you to do a very simple cleaning on them, like brushing teeth, but a little bit scraping or something, so they get used to it. Then when they get older, and I won't have one. So they did it. And my children, I said, okay, time for cleaning at the dentist. Oh, they loved it. Because, of course, that dentist, being also a dentist for children, had what for them afterwards? Always something nice. That dentist, the nurses there and everything, just like at the pediatrician, loved to see our family come in. Do you know why? Because there wasn't going to be a hullabaloo. There wasn't going to be, and they could have just this wonderful relationship with my children, taking care of what needs to be taken care of, doing their job at the same time. Of course, my children are very verbal, Okay, you need to be quiet now so I can have look in there, okay? And they're going, oh, okay. Right? Yes. Yeah, again, I did my research. I thought, okay, how do I do that the best? So my children aren't scared. When there's something that comes up, they're already sick. Now, on top of that, there's the stress of being scared to go to the doctor or the dentist. You see? Okay. My children didn't have that. They didn't have that. And then when one or the other needed a filling or whatever, they managed to get through it. They managed to get through it. They managed to get the shot because of the good relationship that was already established with our dentist family, with our pediatric family. Yes. Anywho, that's what I did. Yeah. What am I doing? I need water for the boy. So, then next. Also, do not promise your children the sun and the moon if they do well, because that doesn't work. That does not alleviate their fear, okay? If you tell them, if you don't scream and howl, and if you really sit nicely in that chair, you'll get whatever. Don't do that. That's a big mistake. Your child will latch on to that for everything possible out there for you to then have to make that promise every time. Often it doesn't work. And often afterwards the child, because it's over, still gets, instead of, well, I don't know, I thought we had an understanding. Your behavior didn't comply with that. So, no, you're not getting that reward. Yeah. Because then your child at least would kind of go, whoa, well, that didn't go well over. Oh, that's like, children are not stupid. I remember I was 6 years old. My brain worked just fine with many things. So I'm going, oh, I could do this. I could do that. I bet you could. I'm assuming that most children that I know are exactly the same. You can see the wheels turning in their mind. If you just look at them, they can't hide like adults can do it. Okay, their feelings show all over their face. That's how our mom caught us every time with anything. Besides that, she had that sixth sense. Yes. Yeah. So, raising your children. First of all, back up, Lou. If you really want to do a good job by your children, then you should see if you can do a good job by an animal. 100%. It has to be 100%. And that doesn't mean spoil that animal to death, okay? I mean, really, study up on it. Okay, how am I a proper, makes sense, dog owner or cat owner? What do they actually really need to be happy? And then you can save a lot of money on a whole lot of stuff that everybody, oh, you got to get this, you got to get that, blah, 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 and I don't know what, okay? And the hardest thing about owning an animal is when their time comes and you have to make either a choice of bringing them somewhere with a goodbye with some dignity, this and that, or they suddenly could just be on a farm like this. You will find them sometimes, and they have passed away. So, and sometimes they do it right in front of your feet. Happened all here. Sometimes an accident happens too. So, and how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the death of an animal as well? Right? The other thing as well, I have to say myself, I've never not had a dog while, even growing up. And then when I started having children, there was always a dog. And I always felt that a dog around my children was the best protection I could get. It was better than any alarm system, and it was better than anything else I could carry at my hip, but this or that, better than anything. Okay? And at least, okay, I did carry always, all right, a certain weapon. It was not a gun in my purse. But the dog would give me time, because they would do their job first, would give me time to use what other protection I had with me for myself and my children. The odd thing is, wherever I went with a dog, camping up in the, gosh almighty, farthest away from anything, this, that, even in places where I felt more safe than actually in a regular campground, because I always had a dog with me, never anything happened, ever. Never. And it's the same here. I feel it is the same here. Working together, the principles of love and the principles of creation, according to what is needed if violence should come towards you, this or that. What do you do? But what do you do? Even there, God has given us protection. Our Heavenly Parent has protection for us if we raise a dog properly. Oh, so you raise a dog to bite it. You don't have to do that. A good dog who knows, through instinct, knows what his relationship is to what he is surrounding, which is his masters, per se. And then one of those is always his best friend. A dog usually will have one person that they do show favor to, okay? But if it's a whole family, that dog automatically, without ever being taught anything, if you raise the dog properly, again, will protect your children and will protect you naturally and automatically if the need arises. Right? We had a dog. Now here is, so if you do that, one dog should be enough, maybe two. If you have more than that, now suddenly you have with children, is a bad idea. Okay? The reason is, I'm telling you that, is because now you have suddenly a group of children, animals, and another group of children, your children, okay? And they're going to start competing, especially the animals. That's not a good thing. Then they lose sight of what they need to protect. Oh yeah, but you had 7 dogs? Okay. This is a huge place here. The animals stayed outside most of the time. They were not allowed in the house. When it got really, really cold, I would open the door, and whoever wanted to come in, that was rare, could come in. Most of the time, after a couple of hours, they wanted to get back out. You know why? Because they needed to make sure everything here was protected and watched over. And they were their own little band that would do whatever needed to be done. There is a difference there than if you have in a city, in a house, in an apartment, children and 3 dogs and 2 kids or even 1 kid. You're putting your child at risk of being mauled. Okay? So again, do it the smart way. All right? Also, if a dog, one dog, especially if you get one that's already kind of on the protective side, like a German Shepherd, for example, there's other breeds, then they're very loyal. They're extremely loyal. Now, if they have to compete with another dog for that loyalty, you already are starting a problem. Because that dog's not thinking like you do. A dog never will think exactly like a human being. He goes by instinct. You see? Okay. So we had one dog. We always had only one dog. okay, in the city. Had a big house, had a nice backyard to stand in. He got to go out plenty because I took him everywhere I went with the children. He seldom, when we went to church, he had to stay home. And then one time we got home, and I said, who locked the door? We never locked the door, even in the city. I said, who locked the door? We didn't have a key in our pocket. Nobody had a key in their pocket. Neither my husband or I to open the door. So accidentally, maybe one of the kids, from the inside, flipped the thing and locked the door. So, well, how do we get in? I said, oh, there's a window. So pulled the window up, and our dog inside, Lance, which was a mix between an Australian Shepherd and a Pit Bull, just about attacked him. Not knowing, not realizing. He wasn't waiting to see who it was. He was going to make sure you're not getting into this house. And then once he heard my husband's voice, right? All righty, Lance, just me. Come on, let me in. It was fine. He backed up. Interesting? Yeah, anywho. But there was one thing. That dog was never alone with my children. Never. Ever. If my children were out in the backyard, I had the door open and I was doing something in the kitchen, or I was out there in the backyard with them. I wasn't going to take a chance with that dog. My children were little. Yeah, he was pretty big. Also, you couldn't trust the dog. No, that didn't have anything to do with that. I did not trust that dog. I trusted that his instinct, if there was something going on between maybe two of the children or whatever, that instinct would take over and protect the weaker one. You see? Yeah. All right. So again, remember, when an animal is an animal, or that an animal is an animal, I never took that chance. I did not. Then as my children grew older, right, and I'd say, okay, they have a good handle now on the dog. I don't have to worry. The dogs are recognizing them as who they are, just as they do me. And then they never went for a walk without one, or two, or three, or four, or five. Do you understand? Yes. But when they were really little, there's no way. Why would you take that chance? That even though you have the most wonderful dog, this net, and out of instinct, suddenly would grab at their face. Yeah. Yeah. So there you have it. That is why. Before you have children, raise a dog. Raise a dog that then when you have children, that dog will be there for a number of years, protecting you and your little ones. Right? Yes? Best thing that you could have in your life. And if you've done this right, then you will be ready for parenthood. I guarantee you. And you'll be secure in it. Then you study, so, I'm not sure how to do this. I'm not sure how to do that. And you read up. One of the best things, I think I have to make 2 parts here. This is taking too long. One of the best things for a child, the beginning of their life, is what? What do you think? The number one thing is where they can be born into their mother's arms. Well, that's not really possible. Okay, what's the other possibility? Yeah, but what's the other possibility? Not possible? A child, then, if he can't be born into their mother's arms, should be born into whose arms? The father. Not the doctor, then the nurse, then the I don't know what. Which voices did that little growing thing in your stomach hear? Through 9 months, just about. Huh? Then what voices does it hear? Because, okay, well, home births are not, that's not a, I had all 4 of mine at home. Just fine. Oh, but then, again, if one can do that, and I've heard other women who had quite difficult home births. They still did it. still managed. Everything went well. And of course, you always have a backup. You don't just do this and then go, well, I'm just going to go by, I could do this. No, God designed me like that and not. I was under pediatric care the whole time, midwife care the whole time, and the hospital. Always signed up for the hospital. That was just a few minutes away in case. I did make all the preparations, but I had a home birth. All 4 times went just fine, no problem, ever. So after that, that's so. Even if you choose, and then here's the other thing too. It's really sad to see and hear how many people who don't really need to are right away grabbing for the drugs. It is, again, I informed myself. Do you know my husband read up on everything on what to do just in case he needed to deliver the baby. And not only that, but you know what? I think he wanted to deliver the baby. He'd have been more than happy. Right? He read up on all this stuff. I found the paperwork. That's why I know. He didn't tell me. Right? And so who should catch the baby? Who do you think should be there? Huh? Doctor should says, okay, Dad, come on now. Huh? This is your child. You should catch that baby. Right? Or at least once it's out, if there was some protest now. Okay, now you come over here. You hold it. We'll have someone cut the cord. You usually get to cut the cord, right? I think it should be the other way. You hold it. And then you talk to it right away. Cut the cord, wrap it up. And then, then you kind of check, okay, well, how's it breathing? Does it? But usually they just take it and put it right over to, don't even check and see, does it need that? All that stuff stuck down its throat and this and that. Does it really need it? If it doesn't need it, then the next step should be go right up to the mama and hear mama's voice, right? Yes, that's not possible anymore. It has to go according to what now? So again, who's in control over you giving birth? Who's in control of the first few hours after you give birth? Shouldn't that be you? Shouldn't your wishes, if everything goes well now, again, this is the best scenario. I know there are other scenarios. But don't you think it's that when you take all them drugs, that then you can't feel no pain, then when the birth is over, you have hardly the strength to hold your baby? Huh? Well, besides, tell you what, when you worked for I don't know how long, then to push that baby out, and you went through all that pain, and you worked so hard, this snap, people caring for you while you're during that time, and you're done, and you didn't take anything for the pain, this snap, you will be so proud of yourself. And the connection to your child already it's different. It just is different. That's what I noticed when I listened to mothers at my time, now as well. The ones that just fight through it, go to hell and back to have a child, they're better mothers. They are. Oh, okay. Now, again. So what about the ones that have complications and they have to okay. If there's someone who just thought that way, I want you to remember that there's always a spiritual and a physical aspect to anything and everything. So if the desire in the mom is so strong, I'm going to have this baby without any kind of whatever they've got out there shooting into my system because I don't want this to hit my baby as well. That was me. I was me. Oh, you're not giving me anything that could potentially harm the intellect of my child. Can't see it on the outside now, can you? Don't you think that autism in children has skyrocketed? If that's even what it is. It's skyrocketed out there. Everything's autism now. Yeah, why is that? Or hyperactivity in children. 50 years ago, did that exist? ADHD, this, that. Where is that all coming from? Suddenly. Going on now for how many years? Then you go back and say, when did they start giving people or women who are giving birth all them drugs? Aha. All right then. Do I make my point? I'm just making one point here. Oh, am I right? As I said, I'll do a little study on that. If you can't do that though, for health reasons to you or your child, or it's been going on for too long, and you've got to be either cesarean, this, that, or you have to have something to relax you so you get strength again, that's different. But it will not make a difference in the love, in the connection to the child that you will have. You know why? You know why there is a difference? Because regardless on how long you're putting your child above you. And even then, if you've already given everything that you could to that moment where then, okay, we got to do something else. You see, that's different. Then someone goes, well, I want the drugs. I don't care. Now they got him. I want the drugs. I don't want to go through that. Then why are you having a child? Why? You're such a whip. I'm rough here, aren't I? Oh, next thing. I could talk more about this, but breastfeeding. It's the absolute best thing if you've taken care of yourself. I'm talking here with people who are happy to have a child. They want a child, right? But are a bit insecure about it. Not quite, and some of their decisions obviously reflect that. And then sometimes, happy happening. Didn't really plan on it, but, right, then you learn right from there. Right? And so, breastfeeding is another one. I breastfed all 4 of mine, and the first one was very rough. And I had to supplement with something, but I didn't quit. There was no way I was going to quit. You know why? Because it wasn't just about the milk. Again, this time with your baby is incredibly needed and valuable to develop this parent-child relationship. Not just on a physical level, but on a spiritual level. When you do that, giving birth, naturally, if your health and all allows that, preferably at home, and breastfeed, even if, and then supplement, I did with soy milk, organic soy milk. Oh, it worked like a charm. I didn't use formula. No, I read up on that too. Yeah. Right? Yes. And then you have formed a bond with your child that as a mother, I'm talking about it as a mother, the fathers need to figure that out on their own, I feel like. Maybe there needs to be a father talking here who's been a father that was there since, conception until they're married and have their own kids. Right? I'd like to hear how that works and how they've done that successfully. Yes? So that, you will never, when you have right at the beginning that kind of relationship with your baby, you will never leave that baby. You will never abandon that baby. Never. Ever. And here's one thing. As you grow older and you become a grandparent, and you have done that as a parent, you will notice in your children, they will never, ever do that either. It's a proud moment when you see in your children reflected what you have done for them and how willing they are to exactly do the same. Regardless if the one parent runs away or whatever. Right? If as the ultimate parent, you stick around and you take care of your children, then you got a place in heaven regardless. What maybe some of the other things are you're struggling with. Yeah. There is a natural sequence on having a child, on how that happens, and why the principles of love are so much attached to that. Then when you do that and you have that bond, you automatically, you want to raise your child according to the best of your own knowledge, the best of what your conscience says, where the conscience comes in, that is the right thing to do. Not what I was just told by someone else out there raising their children. Take it into consideration, but if you have that kind of bond with your children, you will never feel good about hitting them. Never. You will feel guilty. You feel this can't be it. And again, where is that? Anti-authoritative phrasing. It can be done. That doesn't mean the child isn't going to get disciplined. But I believe a child should never get hit. I have come to that conclusion with my last child, where I said, I'm going to do this the way I think is the right thing. Not other people telling me how my child needs to be disciplined, and then I'm just standing there going, well, I guess they need a spanking for that, and then I can't hardly get myself to do it. Do you understand? No? I know some parents out there, they just love hitting their kids. Yeah, for anything. It's like an automatic reaction. I had to force myself to discipline my children through spanking. Yeah. So they didn't get that very often from me. But I wish there would have been a parent out there saying, look, let me explain this to you, how this works. And I said some of that yesterday when I talked about children and the part of conscience on how you talk to your children, on how you try to figure out what is going on within you, that you are acting up this way. What's the reason? The one thing that I hated more than anything as a parent, or in anything, when I addressed a problem and I was told, well, they're just like that. They're just like that. That's kids. No, what? No. No. All right. Well, that's what I wanted to say today. This is a long one, so I think we'll make a part 2 of part 3 tomorrow. And go a little bit into bullying. Why children bully other children, okay? Yeah, it's not the children. They're not born to bully others. Okay, we'll talk about that tomorrow. God's love and blessings always. Now we'll talk to you another time. Chapter 9. Part 3. Why is he, What's the matter? What's the matter? Huh? No, you're not coming back in. Are you waiting for Bo? I'll get that knife. He can come out after, right? Yeah, after I'm done with his foot. Okay? All right. See ya. They miss each other when they're not all together. Chapter 9, Part 3. Raising children. Raising children. I wish someone had told me what I'm telling you. All right. God's love and blessings always. And we'll talk to y'all another time.